Hey there fellow developers, welcome to this exciting tutorial where we will dive into the world of smooth animations using Framer Motion in Next.js 14 projects with the app directory structure. I'm thrilled to guide you through this journey of creating stunning, performant animations that will take your web applications to the next level. Before we jump in, let's quickly cover what Framer Motion is and why it is such a game changer for Next.js projects. Framer Motion is a powerful animation library for React that makes it incredibly easy to add fluid, professional-looking animations to your web apps. When combined with Next.js 14 and its app directory structure, you get a match made in heaven, blazing fast performance and silky smooth animations all in one package. In this tutorial, we will cover everything from setting up your project to creating basic and advanced animations, all while following best practices for optimal performance. So grab your favorite code editor and let's get started. First things first, you need a Next.js project. You have to create a new project if you don't have it already. We will be using the app directory structure. Make sure you have Node.js installed on your machine, and if you don't have the Next.js installed, then you have to run this command as you can see on my screen: npx create -next-app at latest space your project name. When prompted, choose these options: TypeScript yes, ESLint yes, Tailwind CSS yes. That is optional but recommended. Then it will ask you, would you like to use app router? You have to select yes, and then it will ask you, would you like to customize the default import alias? You would select no. You can use your existing project as well. As I already have created my existing Next.js project, it has nothing but just welcome message in it, and you can see it is currently running. If I show you the version, I am using Next.js 14.1.0. You may use the latest version as well. Great. Now if you have your Next.js project set up with the app directory structure, let's move on to the installing Framer Motion. Open the terminal in the root directory of your project and run this command: npm install Framer Motion. Press enter. This command will install the latest version of Framer Motion and add it to your project's dependencies. With Framer Motion installed, we are all set to start creating some awesome animation. Let's start by creating some basic animations to get a feel for how Framer Motion works in our Next.js 14 project. We will create a simple page with a few animated elements. First, create a new file called page.tsx if that doesn't exist already in the app directory. This will be our home page. So open this file and let's add some code. So now I'm going to delete all of this, and here I will simply add main, and within the main I will add some classes: flex, min h screen, flex column, and items center, justify center, and p-24. Save it. Now within that I will use the motion component. Make sure to import the motion component. So add the import statement motion from Framer Motion, and we will use motion.div, and within that I will add a welcome message: welcome to Framer Motion. And within this motion.div I will add some class names: text-4xl, font-bold, mb-8. Save it. Now we will pass some props to this component. First one would be the initial with the opacity 0, and y value would be -50. Save it. Now we will pass the animate prop with the opacity 1 and y value would be equal to 0, and in the transition we'll pass the duration 0.5. okay, currently I am getting this error in the browser. The reason is that we must have to add the use client to convert it into the client side component from the server component. Okay, now let's reload it. Alright, you can see when I reload it, it will show this heading with a very nice and smooth animation. Now let's add a button below the motion.div, motion.button, and within that I will pass a text like me, and we need some classes: class name, px-4, py-2, bg blue, text white, and rounded -md. Now we need to pass some props: while hover scale 1.1 and while tap scale 0.9. Save it. Now let's reload it again and see what happens. Okay, if I click on that, you can see all that animation. So let's break down what's happening here. We import the motion component from Framer Motion. We use the motion.div for the title, which animates from being invisible and slightly above its final position to fully visible and in place. And then the button uses the motion dot button with while hover and while tap properties for interactive animations. Well, this is just a tip of the iceberg. Framer Motion offers a wide range of animation properties and options that we will explore further in the advanced techniques section. Now that we have got the basic down, let's explore some more advanced animation techniques with Framer Motion in Next.js 14. One of the coolest features of Framer Motion is the ability to create smooth page transitions. So let's implement a simple fade transition between pages. First, create a new file called layout.tsx in your app directory if it doesn't already exist. This will be our root layout component, so update it with some code that we are going to type here. So within the body tag, let's move the children down, and here I'm going to type animate presence. Make sure to import the animate presence component from the framer dash motion. Alright, now I will pass a property mode weight, and within that we'll pass motion dot div. Make sure to import the motion from framer motion like this, and within that I will pass the children that we are getting from the parameters. Now in the motion dot div I will add some properties. First one would be the key is equal to path name that I'm just going to define above. So here I will have a constant path name is equal to use path name. Make sure to import this use path name from the next/navigation. By the way, we also have to convert this into the client side component by adding the use client in this way. And once this is a client side component, you cannot export the metadata. Let me show you. You can see you are attempting to export metadata from the component marked with the use client, which is disallowed. So let's remove the metadata from here. Save it. Okay. Now let's fix the path name spellings here in the key property. And now I will pass the initial property where the opacity would be 0, and now I will add the animate with the opacity 1. Then we will pass the exit property with the opacity 0, and we will pass the transition property with the duration 0.5. Save it. So this setup wraps each page with an animation container that fades in and out during the navigation. So let's test it out. I'm going to create multiple pages. So let me add a folder here about, and within that let's add the page.tsx, and okay, I'm going to navigate user to the about page if they clicks on the click me button in the page.tsx. So here let's add on. So here I'm going to add the link component from the next/link path, and here I will pass the href, and we have specified the path about that will take us to the about page. Save it. Now let's click on that. Alright, you can see it took us to the about page with that animation, and on the about page I will add a button that will take us back to the home page. So here let's add this button. Let's import the motion component from the framer dash motion. Save it. And as now we are using the motion, we must have to declare this component as the client side component use line. Save it. It is saying that can't find the link variable. We must have to import the link from the next/link. Save it. Alright, now here I will specify the path of the home page. That would be slash. Let's click on that. By the way, there was already some animation, that's why you may feel it a glitch and it does not look good so far. Now I'm just going to remove all of the existing animations from the home page. Actually, let's add some code that will generate the UI for us, and we will see the transition between those pages. So here I'm just going to click on this button that will help us to copy everything, and let's delete everything from here, and we need to replace the class with a class name because that's how it works in the React. Save it. Okay, we don't need the framer motion, and now this is not a client side component anymore because we are not using the framer animation in this page. And here I'm going to use the image tag from the next/image. So for this we will have to add this. Let's remove all of these comments. Okay, so I think that's it. Now let's see how it is looking in our browser. Okay, let's add some width property to this image. We need to add the width here as well. We need to add the height as well, and in this image tag as well. Now we need to whitelist these domain names because we just copied it from internet and these are not whitelisted. So let's copy this domain name, and as it is suggesting, we need to add this domain in the next.config.js. So let's do that here. If you click on this, it will show you the documentation as well, that how to do that. In the next.config, we will add the images property, and within that, okay, so now let me add this domain here. I will comment it, I will copy it later. Now let's copy paste this property here, remote patterns. So this is the first object, and here we have to pass a domain name like this, and you can specify the path that where exactly you want to allow this domain, but I will just remove it because I want it on every page. And let's remove this one as well. Okay, let's check it, reload this page. Okay, now I'm getting error. The style prop expects a mapping from style properties. So as we copied it from the internet, so there are some issues we need to fix. Like there are some style properties here. Normally we use the objects instead of this string. So before doing that, let me turn on the wrapping for my VS Code, because currently I have to scroll every time. Editor word wrap on. Okay, yeah, now it is fine. So let's copy all this, and here I will pass the object and click path like this. Okay, same for the other style property as well. Let's cut it from here and pass out empty object, and here we'll use the clip path in this way, and let's add the value in the double quote. Save it. Now there is no error, and you can see that a very nice beautiful page is here. Now if you click on these buttons, it should take you to a different page. Okay, so let me copy the content for a different design that will put on the about page. Okay, so let's suppose I want to use this one. So go to the code, click on this button to copy it, and let's go to the about page.tsx, and I will replace everything here. And now we have to fix the class names once again, replace all. Also we have to fix the image tag. Make sure to import the image tag from the next/image like this. And also we have to fix the br tag as well like this, and here we have to add the width and height. So here add the width and height. We have to add the slash here as well. Okay, great. Now I guess there were already some width and height properties, so that's why it was showing error. Let's remove it. Okay, now let's link the about page with a menu item in the header section. So here I will simply add the link tag. Make sure that link tag is already imported from the next/link, and here I will add the about, and let's add the /about path here. Okay, now let's test it. Here let's fix this. We have to add the link in the closing tag as well. Okay, now error is gone. We have the about link. Click on that, and you can see it took us to this page with a nice animation. Let me copy this header to the about page as well, or the better approach is that let's move it into the layout section. Okay, so because layout is the area where the code would be shared across all of the pages. So as we want to share the header or menu in all of the pages, so I am adding it here. Make sure to import the image tag from the next/image. Same for the link, we have to import the link tag as well, or link component. Okay, great. Now after header, after everything, I will close the div that was started here. Okay, great. Now we can remove this header from the page.tsx because these both tags are added already from the layout, so we can remove this div as well. Great. Okay, now you can see this is shared on all of the pages. Now let's go to the layout, and here I will actually, as this image is not working, I'm just going to remove it, and here I will remove the class, and this is the logo. Now I'm going to link it with the home page. Link and slash. Okay, let's click on that. You can see if I click on these buttons, it takes us to a different page with an animation. You can play around with this animation to make it better, but I just wanted to show you an example how it is going to work for you. You can slow down this animation as well, like maybe you want to add 2 seconds duration. So let's go back to the company. Alright, so as you can see, it is working. Although it is working, when you change the pages, it shows animation, but there is a small problem that when you change a page, it shows the content and then hide it and then show it again. So that does not look good. So you can work on it to improve it further, but I will try to improve it very quickly by using a bit different strategy. So for that, I am going to create a new file called template.tsx. So you can create any file name, it's totally up to you. Now I will make it a client side component, and then import the motion from framer motion, and then export default function template and children react.react node. Okay, from here I will simply return motion dot div, and within that we will pass the children that we got from the parameter, and here I will pass all of the options. Initial would be opacity 0, y 20, and animation should be opacity 1 and y should be 0, and in the transition we will add duration of 0.5 seconds. Alright, now it's time to use this template. So go back to the layout.ts. I'm going to get rid of all of this code, remove it, and this as well, and remove this path as well. Okay, now go to the every page one by one, and here we will add the template like this. So wrap every page between this template component, and it will just start to work as we are expecting. Do the same in the about page as well, like this, and move it to the bottom. Great. Now it's time to test. So this is how you can see it look when you first time load your website. If you go to the about page, it shows the content from the bottom to the top with the slide animation and with the fade in effect, and if you go back to the home page, every time it will show you this animation. So there are thousands of strategies or methods that you can try to work on your animations. You can keep improving your animation to make it perfect to the stage where you want it. Now let's move on to the staggered list animation. Another powerful technique is creating staggered animations for list items. So let's create a new page to demonstrate the list. So here I am going to create a new file inside the component slash list.tsx, and here let's add use client and import the framer motion from the framer motion, and create a constant items is equal to item 1 and item 2, item 3, item 4, and item 5. Now let's create a constant container variant is equal to object, and here we will add a hidden property with the opacity 0, and here I will pass a visible property opacity 1, transition to staggered children 0.1. make sure to put this comma here. Okay, now we need to create another constant item variants, and here I will pass hidden opacity 0 and y should be 20, and then for the visible property we need opacity 1 and y should be 0, and transition should be an object with the duration 0.5. Save it. Okay, now it's time to create a component. So let's export default function list, and within that we will simply return motion.ul, and between that I will map through our items like this. Here use the items.map code, and within that map function I will pass the callback function, and that callback function will be getting the item and index. And now let's return the motion.li, and we have to pass the key equal to the index that we are getting, and then we need to pass the variants, and we already have created variants for the item variants, and add class name p-4 bg-gray-100 rounded-md. Save it. Now on the UL tag we need to add variants that we just created, container variants, and now we need to add initial value to the hidden, and we need to add the animate to the visible, and then add some class names equal to pace-y-4. This is the this is the Tailwind CSS class. Okay, so this creates a list where items appear one after another with a staggered animation effect. So it's time to show it. So let's go to the page, about page, and on the bottom section after this I will add this list component. Make sure to import it from the component slash list. Save it. Okay, let's reload it. By the way, in the list I did not display the text inside the list, that's why we don't see anything there yet. Okay, you can see that items appeared with the staggered effect. Okay, let me make it more clear. So I will, maybe we should move it inside this div. Okay, yeah, it is fine. Now I'm going to add some br tag to add some space. Okay, you can see when I reload it appears one by one with a very nice animation. You can update this animation and you can make it better if you want to. Okay, now let's move on to the scroll triggered animation. Framer motion also allows for scroll triggered animation. So let's create a component that animates as it comes into view. Okay, so I'm going to create a new component with the name scroll animation.tsx, and within that we will convert it to the client component by adding the use client. Now add the motion and use in view from the framer motion. Now we need to import the use ref from React. And now export default function scroll animation. Now first we need to create a constant. Ref is equal to use ref, and then we need to create a constant is in view is equal to use in view, and pass it the ref that we just created, and pass it an object as the second argument, and I will pass once is equal to true. Okay, save it. Now after that we will simply return motion.div, and between the motion.div I will add this element animates when it comes into view. Save it. Okay, now it's time to add some properties to animate it. Actually, first of all we need to add the ref here, and then use the initial is equal to opacity 0 and y should be 50, and animate, and in the animate we will add if is in view, then use this object that would be opacity 1 y 0, otherwise use another object. I'm getting this error because I used double curly braces here, so just remove it. Okay, now within this animate section it will use either this object or this object. So if is in view, then opacity should be 1 and y should be 0, otherwise opacity should be 0 and y should be 50. Okay, save it. Now we need to add the transition property here, and here I will pass object with the duration 0.5 seconds, and the class name should be equal to the p-6 bg-blue-100 and rounded md. Save it. Alright, you can now import and use this component in any of your pages, and it will animate as user scrolls into the view. So let's try that. I'm going to the home page, and on the bottom I will add scroll animation component. Make sure to import it like this, and we have to pass some children. Hello world. There. Okay, go back to the home page. Currently the height is too small, that's why it will immediately appear because it is already visible in the view, scroll view. So for that I will increase the PB padding bottom 500 pixels, so it will add 500 pixel padding bottom so that this component doesn't appear until we scroll down. So now let's scroll down, and you will notice it will show with the animation. So it appears with the animation. I still did not notice it very clearly because we may have to improve the styling. So maybe if you increase the duration to 6 seconds, then you will significantly notice it. Reload it. Okay, now scroll down. You can see it is being appeared very slowly. Let's reload it and wait for some time, and now scroll down. You will see as soon as I scroll down it starts to appear. If you don't scroll down it will never appear. Let me reduce the duration to 2 seconds and reload it and wait for 3 seconds. 1 2 3. Now scroll down. You can see it started to appear as soon as I scroll down, otherwise it did not make it appear. So these advanced techniques showcase the versatility of Framer motion in creating engaging and interactive user experiences in Next.js 14 applications. And there you have it, folks. We have journeyed through the exciting world of Framer motion in Next.js 14 with app directory structure. So let's quickly recap what we have learned. First, we set up a Next.js project with the app directory structure. We installed the Framer motion and created our first basic animations. We explored advanced techniques like page transitions, staggered list animations, and scroll triggered animations. Remember, the key to mastering Framer motion is practice and experimentation. So don't be afraid to try out different animation properties and combinations to achieve the perfect look and feel for your Next.js applications. If you want to take your Framer motion skills to the next level, here are some next steps you can take. First of all, explore the Framer motion documentation for more advanced features and API. Try creating complex multi-step animations using Framer motion's variants. Next, experiment with using Framer motion for micro interactions to enhance user experience. Combine Framer motion with Next.js image optimization features for animated image galleries. Thank you for joining me on this tutorial journey. I hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial. If you think so, then please like and share this video, and also please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the bell notification to get notified for my upcoming videos. That will also motivate me to record more videos like this. If you have any questions or feedback or suggestions, then feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Once again, thanks for watching. Happy coding, and may your Next.js applications be filled with better smooth animations.